Okay, vlog's done. Took me a little bit longer than expected because I did a little over 11 minutes. And plus I had bought some gummies too. Yeah, I know I said that Family Dollar didn't have anything I was looking for, but I got some gummies, so whatever. So yeah, so Amber's okay with it. With me having off the weekend before, because I told her that, you know, I'm trying to work around her wedding, and she's like, okay. And all that, so. And Chris said that he's going, doing some like Comic-Con type thing in July. I said, when are you going? He's like, why? I said, because I don't want it to interfere with my camping, you know, with me camping, because it's, you know, it's not that I don't want you to go, it's just I want to be able to go camping as well as let you go and do blah blah blah, you know, go do that con. He's like, yeah. You know, because I told him I don't want my camping to interfere with his, you know, with his con. He said, whatever date to the 10th. And I was like, okay, then we're good. He's like, well, why'd you ask? And I told him because I want him to ensure that I'm gonna get my camping time, you know, which is like a date, you know, which is like a week, you know, on top of him being allowed to go do his thing too. He's like, yeah, that makes sense, you know. And I told him, I'm not, you know, I'm trying to work around everybody here and let them do their thing, you know. And it's even like I asked Ryan, because he's taken like a week or whatever, within like a week or two yet. I think it's gonna be within like a week or two. And I said, oh, he's like, I was like, okay. And he's like, why? I said, because I don't want it to interfere with when camping starts, because as soon as it starts, I'm gonna want to go, you know. And it's not that I don't want you to go. I told him it's not, you know, that I don't want you to go. As you know, I want to be able to go too, and I'll still try to allow everybody else too, because I know they're gonna make a fucking fuss about it, because I'm gonna go try to go in June. I'm just gonna lollygag around here a little bit. You know, so I'm gonna try to go in June for like around Mom's birthday. And then obviously we'll have our week in July. And then Chris will be gone. Then, you know, I'll be coming back right when Chris leaves. And then, yeah, so I'll be coming back right when Chris leaves. Or getting ready to leave anyway. And then I put in for Dad's birthday, because I was talking about wanting to put it, or talking Autumn, I think back in like the early part of January or late December, I forget. But I remember talking to Autumn about it. She's like, well, why don't you figure out what days you gotta go or what days you need, then you just put them all in at once. I said, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna talk to Dad about it tonight, you know, that night. And I did. He's like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, they gave me the idea at work, you know, for us going camping, so that it's not an issue with me putting them in. He's like, yeah. You know, with putting them in, so then I don't have to fight to fucking do it every goddamn time. It's like, yeah, that's a good idea, but you can't do that because, you know, Mom's schedule isn't set. I was like, oh shit, I could have jumped off that corner, oh well. He's like, that's a good idea, but you can't do that because, you know, because your schedule's not set and neither is Mom's. I was like, yeah, you got a good point. I completely forgot about that. You know, that Mom's schedule wasn't set. You know, so then I went back to work and Autumn was like, well, what did your dad say? I said, my dad said that was a good idea, but hear me out. She's like, what's that? Or what's the issue? I said, my dad said it's a good idea, but he did make a good point that I, you know, failed to realize that, you know, that idea ain't gonna work. She said, what was the idea again? You said to put in all my days, you know, camping trips right away so then I don't have to fucking fight to do it. She's like, yeah. What about that? What did he say? I said, can't do it because, you know, I failed to, you know, I completely forgot, you know, because it was mostly my fault. You know, my mom's schedule isn't set at work, not like how Dad's is. She's like, what do you mean? I said, my dad works 7 to 3:30 Monday to Friday. She's like, oh. She's like, oh, yeah, I didn't realize that. I'm like, yeah, I completely forgot about that. You know, I remembered that her hours flip-flopped every week, but so see if the fucking idiot of a neighbor's still parked like a dumbass, because when Mom and Dad got home from O'Reilly, the bank in O'Reilly's, they were parked like an idiot. Slipped, my foot slipped. Fucking lucky dumbass. He doesn't fucking realize that I have him doing it on camera now, so it's so need a front plate, dude. Because this fat fuck doesn't read either. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay out. It is cold. It's like 35.